What is going on YouTube? Sync These here back with another video. Over the weekend, I played the Madden 21 beta. I want to give you all my feedback of the beta, talking about gameplay only. I'm not going to go into presentation. I'm not going to go into animations and things like that. I'll slightly talk about abilities and things like that, but I won't talk about the new ones that are added. This is strictly about gameplay. So let's start with the offense. On offense, start with in the trenches, and I want to talk about the offensive line. Playing with the Buccaneers, obviously Tom Brady has secure pocket protector. What it's an ability. I can't think of it right now. It's been a minute since I played Madden. It's an ability that helps him in the pocket, helps that pocket stay stronger or whatever. That works, but to a certain extent, if the defensive lineman has a crazy D-line ability or something like that, they will come off the line. But other than that, offensive linemen still dumb out like it's Madden 20. There was an instance where I was playing my friend. He was in dime. He didn't even send Tyrann Mathieu on a blitz. My offensive lineman double teamed the end. They didn't even need to. Tyrann Mathieu came off the edge free. Once again, he wasn't even blitzed. And he could have been picked up by the right tackle. And I ended up getting sacked. Offensive lineman dumbed out. Don't know why it happened, but it did. Moving on. You do see as the game go on, the protection from your offensive line. It does get bolstered throughout the game. But to counter that, you can switch up your defensive line. What I mean by that is, let's say you've been playing in the same formation, same package, and you had your defensive lineman placed in the same place the entire game, and the offensive linemen know who they're going against. They know their moves and things like that. Their protection gets stronger throughout the game. You can change where you put your defensive linemen to match up against different offensive linemen, and that basically counters the strength of what your opponent has against each other. I know that doesn't make sense right now, but you have to be in game to understand what I'm talking about. But that's mostly what goes on with the offensive line at this moment. They're super like, I see an improvement in offensive line gameplay, but it's still to the point where stupid stuff still happens. Defensive lineman abilities are always going to be king compared to offensive lineman abilities. When I did play with the Ravens, secure pass blocker, secure protector, that stuff did work. Ronnie Stanley didn't let anybody come off the edge, but he did have struggles against Shaq Barrett and things like that coming off the edge. So let's get into running backs, right? Running backs have a rating. Well, every player in the game has a rating called change of direction rating, right? This basically allows the player to basically excel or accel and decel, and then move in a different direction as quick as possible. And the best way I could explain it to you is this: change of direction controls the speed at which a player can turn, also controls the speed at which a player can decelerate, which a player must do for a drastic direction change. Replaces the old elusiveness rating, right? Now, in the beta, Clint Odenberg goes on and says, the higher the COD rating, the more you can turn before having used a drastic cut, and the faster the deceleration is into the drastic cut. Whereas agility control rate of turn in non-drastic direction changes. Elusiveness was removed as it was used by offensive players only. Change of direction is used on on both sides of the ball when in the standard run cycle. Now, I bring that up for this simple reason, right? While you're playing the beta, I played some opponents that when they ran the ball inside zone and things like that, linebackers didn't have the agility nor the change of direction to sometimes counter what the running back was doing, his movement. I couldn't, move laterally that way and things like that compared to the running back, and sometimes it cost me. EA has to find a way to allow linebackers to, even though they're not as athletic, and even though it was a beta, have to find a way to that gives you sort of a boost, because linebackers, if they're not running towards you, or if they're running at an angle, their pursuit angle is going to get pushed out the way. Running backs just have this ability to just cut up field and do things. If their ratings are high, that allow them to basically just outmaneuver certain linebackers in the game. It was crazy. But let's get back to the running backs in general. Not many elusive backs that were top tier in the beta. I ran with the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Buccaneers. Todd Gurley's okay. He didn't feel clunky, but he didn't feel I didn't feel a difference in using him. Like, I did feel a difference in using him from Madden 20 to Madden 21. Mark Ingram felt like the best back in the league. I don't know what they did to him. I didn't even know he had that much speed. He was looking faster than Damian Williams. Maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like they would be two backs that have the same speed. Elusive backs felt faster, but they could not. They're not inside zone backs. Those are backs that will get tugged through the line, through the line of scrimmage, maybe 2 yards. But it was also glitchy that they can bounce off offensive lineman backs and continue to sprint for like 10 yards. It's weird. But swing routes, route running on a running back are going to be flat routes are going to be huge in this year's game, especially for those defensive players that like to play. Let's say it's 3rd and 10, they play in the sticks, they have everybody in cloud flats or curl flats, things like that. You throw a swing route, a flat route, and you have a elusive back in the backfield, it's possible that you're going to get all 10, because the pursuit angles and the change of direction of certain players is absolutely horrible. Especially if you play with the Chiefs and you were using Sorensen, or you were trying to get on Rashad Breeland. Those guys just didn't have those abilities to just, try to make the tackle and things like that. And that's another thing. Tackle rating is going to matter a lot in this year's Madden. Gronk with tank is a problem, an absolute problem. Like, I know we've seen it in Madden 20, but like 2 guys tried to hit him at the 10-yard line. He bounced off of them and went for a touchdown. It's absolutely crazy. Like I said, I won't get into abilities like that crazy, but I will bring them up when it's necessary. Certain things went down in the game that was absolutely ridiculous. So let's go over to receivers. Receivers with no ability pretty much dropped the ball as if it was Madden 20. I feel like receiving is the same. You do have certain animations in which the awareness does play a factor. The higher the awareness, the more you know where certain players are on the field. You can tell the way players act and move on the field. For example, I threw a sideline pass to Mike Evans. He toe tapped, laid out, got the first down. the abilities with the receivers helps them tremendously. The acceleration, if you're running a curl route or things like that, a hitch route, and you leave these guys wide open, they immediately cut upfield. I think that's an absolute great change Madden implemented into the game. It just makes sense. If you, I can't imagine if players had grab and go, they're absolutely gone. Like, no, like if you take the wrong angle and your opponent goes left and you go right, like the offensive player won that battle. They're gone. Like, you have to break down and tackle or else. Like it's a GG. That dude is going for 15 plus. And the change of direction ability, like I said before, if your defensive players don't have high change of direction, they're going to get burnt, and it's going to be hard for them to move laterally and things like that. So you have to break down and tackle. You have to strafe and tackle. That's the only way to make tackles on the game, and it's something that you have to get used to, along with the controls. I won't get into that much, but let's move on to quarterback. So there's a complete difference between Lamar Jackson, Matt Ryan, Patrick Mahomes, and Tom Brady. And everybody's saying, of course, Brady's the GOAT. Lamar Jackson, scat back, the scrambling quarterback, pistol run type of guy. Mahomes, jack of all trades, right? Matt Ryan, pocket passer. I believe that ratings will matter to a certain extent. Tom Brady does not have the arm strength like Pat Mahomes, and it shows in the game. There's plenty of times I had Chris Godwin just absolutely smoke corners off the line of scrimmage, beat them up the field, 5-yard lead, and Tom Brady doesn't have the arm strength to get the ball there. On the other hand, Patrick Mahomes, same thing. Tyreek Hill running a nice little crosser across the field, nice little fade route up the seam. I throw the ball to them, and it's a GG after that. Like, I'm forcing my opponent to make adjustments. Matt Ryan, same thing. He could throw it over the middle, out route, this, that, and the third, and his players are going to get it. It's just absolutely amazing. The throw out of sack ability, the bazooka abilities, all those play a factor in I believe the rating. Mahomes, when he gets hit and throws the ball, you can tell he's still putting arm strength behind it, whereas Brady is more of, it's going to be a pick type thing. Quarterbacks, I feel like, I don't know if it's the play clock or their animations when they come up to the pocket, but sometimes you have enough time to set up your audibles, your play call to dissect the defense and things like that. And then other times you don't. So it's really going to take some skill and time to get used to, considering what the game is and things like that. Like I said, it was a beta, so just testing little things like that out. But the quick passes that come out of the pocket and immediately throw the ball, that's there for quarterbacks. I believe West Coast offense is going to be like sort of meta in this game. Like, the deep passes take too long to set up, and by that time that the route becomes open, it's going to be like clip, like the pass rush is going to be there, especially if you have a pocket passer. Let's move over to the defensive side of the ball. Defensive line, like I said before, I feel like it's toned down, but it's not as overpowered as last year. Calais Campbell, Grady Jarrett, some of the Shaq Barrett, some of the guys that had abilities that I played with. Calais Campbell did not let anything past his side running the ball like multiple times. If he did, it was because he crashed inside and he was supposed to hold the edge. That's maybe one time out of like multiple runs, but a lot of people that I played were throwing the ball, so I didn't have that to worry about. Grady Jarrett ability made him the best defensive tackle in the beta. I kid you not. Inside zone guru or whatever it was that allowed him to, block shed quicker or whatever. I can't think of these abilities right now. I'm sorry guys, but you couldn't run inside zone against Grady Jarrett. That's all I'm gonna say. If you wanted to run the ball against the Buccaneers, it was tough. Dominican Sue beat Avea right there. It's super tough. Getting to the linebacker situation, usering is not the wave. If you user, you have to use fast linebackers like the Falcons, linebacking core, the Buccaneers linebacking core, Levante David, Devin White, things like that. Super tough to guard these speedy receivers, especially if you put them in the right situation to win their routes. User as a linebacker, I think it's going back to the old days when you have to strafe for. You get rewarded more for strafing than you do for actually just holding the left stick and just running holding right trigger and running with routes. Pass interference, illegal contact does pop up. It happened to me a lot in some of the games I was playing. You touch the receiver during their route, or if you just pushed them out the way by accident. It was a 5-yard penalty, and it really changed the game. It could have been a 3rd and 10. Now and you had everything bagged. Now it's a 3rd and 5, or it's a 1st and 10. Any situation, you just gave up 5 yards. So there's a lot to get used to, get acquainted to in this new game. But they have to make changes to the change of direction for linebackers and the speed when they're using pursuit angles, because they are absolutely horrible at this point in the game. And tackling as well. Like, I'll talk about DBs tackling, because DBs have low tackle ratings, and there's always been that way in Madden. But linebackers and defensive linemen, their tackle ratings are pretty high, and they're able to tackle these running backs that come through the hole. But on certain zone runs and things like that, if they get washed inside or they can't block shed, they just lose focus on how to tackle, and I don't think that should be there. Tackling, especially if you're conservative tackling, it's just a thing of the past. It's super tough. I don't know why Madden and pretty much try to upgrade the strength of tackling. So I think that needs to be tuned. Let's talk about DBs. DBs pretty much play good. I didn't like zone coverage. I prefer a lot of man. Man was pretty cool to run if you knew what you was doing. Man was looking not meta, but it was looking like if you had man beating routes, you knew how to get open. Deep blue zones were absolutely horrible. Played around with the ability to change the depth of your curl flats, your curl zones, and these still are a problem in Madden. If you roll out of the pocket as a quarterback for maybe 2-3 feet, the zone automatically drops out of his assignment, and you can still get the pass off. It's super bad. And if you know what I'm talking about, manipulating zones and things like that, that's still in the game. Played my boy, I did that countless times, and he's like, bro, he was dropping back. Why is he not sticking with his zone? I told him I still can manipulate zones on the game. So if you're running like a 15-yard, 30-yard curl route, curl flat, and your quarterback rolls out the pocket for like half a second, that zone drops down, and now you have 3 dudes guarding the flat. Like it's super bad. Deep blues are absolutely horrible. You could throw a seam route, you could throw anything but deep blue, and it pretty much gets open unless the ball is just floating in the air from Tom Brady. Pretty much that's the only thing. Short routes are just going to be key. But that's pretty much all I have about the beta. Tackling has to get improved. My feedback from the beta, I hope it helps you guys understand how I approach the game. I'll come back and talk about gameplay presentation, the gameplay animations and abilities in another video if you guys want. But that's pretty much my feedback from the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and drop a like, comment down in the comment section. If you have any questions, subscribe to the channel if you're new. And as always, man, remember to be great. I'm out.